everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I also want to thank everyone for riding with me while I'm dealing with the flare-up with my spine. I'm actually in the bed and I thought it would be better if I did my videos off screen until I felt better. But I wanted to come in today and talk about what's going on in Atlanta. Atlanta has a crisis with HIV, and it's reached epidemic proportions. They're saying that it's worse than third world countries, like over in Africa. And just hearing that and reading all the information about it, it really worries you. They're saying that 1 in 50 people is infected with the HIV virus. It is very sad because we learned back in the 80s and the 90s exactly what to do to prevent this disease from spreading. And that was to wear a condom, protect yourself. Now, I know that there are, stories of men that are down low and that there are, people that are sleeping with multiple partners and the partners don't know that, that person is sleeping with other people and they're doing this all unprotected. I think it's sad and I think it's stupid. And I want to talk to my people, my beautiful black people. I came to Atlanta about 20 years ago when I was a travel agent. And when I tell you I got off the plane, and it may have been a little more than 20 years ago, but I got off that plane and I had a, because I was a travel agent, I was able to go, back into like the Delta, where the VIPs are behind the scenes, and it's like their club room. The first person that I saw when I got off the plane was this beautiful black woman. And she was sitting at the desk and she greeted us. And everywhere I went from that point on, it was just beautiful black people. And I labeled Atlanta Chocolate City. I said, this place, these black people are living down here. It is just beautiful. And, people were very kind, and everywhere you went, they just spoke and they were very kind. So this like really rattles my cage to know that in 20 plus years, this is where they are now, my people. And I'm going to speak to you like a sister, like a best friend, and just another black girl out here, doing her thing too. I know when I was younger, before we had AIDS, I'm not going to sit here and say that every sex that I had was protected. But once AIDS came along and we learned how to protect ourselves from it, I did not have unprotected sex. So to the women in Atlanta, I'm going to speak to you like a girlfriend, like a sister, like a mother. My panties would not be off until the condom was on. If he is not willing to put a condom on, get your purse, get your keys, get your shit, and get the hell out. Leave him. It's not worth it. And to the brothers down there, I'm your sister, I'm your mother, I'm your friend. I don't care how pretty she looks, how, you think she gonna put it on you. If you do it unprotected, she definitely gonna put it on you. So cover up. No sex is worth, living with this horrible disease for the rest of your life. I mean, from that moment on that you are diagnosed, you are obligated to tell every person that you plan to be intimate with what's going on with you health-wise. And it doesn't look like that's what's happening. And to you down low people who are, having a partner at home and you're going out and doing things that you should not be doing, you ought to be ashamed. Because look where this has gotten, you know, the Atlanta population there. We are or were running that city. This was, as I say, Chocolate City. And you hate to hear that this is going on down there. And you sit here, and I'm up in the north, and you're saying they know better. What the hell is going on? Why aren't they, protecting themselves? It's not worth it. And then now they have medicine to, to keep you stabilized and, you know, upright and above ground. But what's your quality of life, when every person that you meet that you want to be intimate with or have an intimate relationship, you have to stop and tell them this. You have to live with this for the rest of your life. You're going to have times when you're not feeling good. You're going to be forced to take, countless pills every day just to have a normal life, all for some sex. So I just say to y'all, get yourself tested, stay protected. No matter who that person is, it is not worth it. Just know that we see you down there and we're feeling this. This is just not your problem because people travel. This could become an epidemic around the United States. We live in the United States. This should not be happening. There is a place that sells condoms on every corner in America. Every corner. So do your due diligence. Take care of yourself. If that person does not want to use protection, you get your shit and get up and get out of there. Because they don't care about you and they don't care about themselves. So you shouldn't want to be with that person because look at what this has gotten us. It's just really sad, and I pray for the people who have been affected. Wow. Jeez. The next subject that I want to talk about is that talk that all of us as black parents have to have with our children. And it's the talk about the police and how to conduct themselves out in the world because justice is not blind when it comes to them. Now, we've seen in recent years a lot of young black men murdered, and the person that does it walks away scot-free. We've watched our young men be convicted of the same crimes as white young men, and they be given harsh sentences, life, 50, 60 years, and their white counterpart gets probation if he gets anything. So there's a talk that we as black parents have all had with our children. And that talk needs to continue. Again, I was just sitting here today and once again on Facebook timeline, stories coming across about boys being tased until they die, shot and killed in the back. They're being shot in the back. They're running away scared. And the police officer shoots them in the back and they get off with it. We know, even though we're told that this thing that we tell people happens to us, that they tell us that, it's all in our head or we're overreacting or, it's that we're pulling the race card or some nonsense, the things that they tell us. But the only thing that we can do is continue to talk to our children. And even with that, they could be a good kid. I just watched a video of a little boy out in front of a store selling candy bars. And this white lady stood there and harassed that child until he was in tears for standing there. And then the comments that she was making about, you just don't know how they live. You just don't know what their lives are like. Speaking of us as though we're not part of the human race. That the only difference between us and them is the color of our skin. It really pissed me off as a mother. And the little boy, the man that offered to buy all of his candy bars and told the lady that she should be ashamed of herself. The little boy, when he needed to speak to the guy, he said, "Excuse me, sir," showing that whoever raised that child taught him manners despite what that woman thought or believed about, you know, who this young man was and where he came from. Like I say, they all believe that we all come from some ghetto. I asked the question, where's this humongous ghetto at? Because for every black person in America to fit into it, it's got to be pretty big. If we are in the ghetto, every black person in America lives in a ghetto, in every city in this country. How big are these fucking ghettos? All of us did not grow up in ghettos. All of us did not come from underprivileged parents. That is not the story. They've been watching too much fucking television and all that propaganda that is just, you know, crawls across the news feed every night. You don't see them talking about these black children who have been accepted to 8 and 9 and, Ivy League colleges. You don't see that on the news quite often. Now you'll see every once in a while they'll throw up a feel good story. But normally it's some crazy shit that even us as black people, when we sit and watch it, we say, that doesn't represent all of us. They have a balance because there's bad stuff on television about white people, but that balance of all the good stuff and Becky running through the field of clovers with her little blonde curls bouncing, you know? But with us, it's always something negative, and it's because they control the media. So they're going to get across their good stuff. And every once in a while, they'll throw in a feel-good story for us. Oh, Tyrone, he's, lived in a car all his life, but he graduated with a 4.0. It just annoys me. So continue to talk to your kids about this world out here that we're sending them out in. I know when I was growing up, my mother taught us to be good people and honest and upright citizens and don't hurt anyone. But what she forgot to tell us is that when we went out in the world, that the world was going to hurt us. And that we better be tough because it is not quite that easy. Sometimes when you're working on a job and you're the only black person there, I've experienced that. Where there are little snide comments made and you're just trying to go there and make a fucking check. But you have to be the spokesperson for your entire race. Because here's this little novelty, this little token black person. Let's ask her all the questions that we've been wanting to ask about, quote unquote, those people. Sometimes when I've been in those offices and I'm that only black person, I have a little term that I use, the only little chocolate chip in the bag. And when they're asking questions about my fucking hair or, do you eat this? And, just stupid questions. I want to smack the fuck out of someone. I want to be that ghetto person that they believe me to be and walk up to them and smack the fucking shit out of them. But I was raised right. You know, I've even had them ask me, when I come back in on a hot summer day, do black people get sunburn? I had to tell this one white woman, I said, think about it. Any flesh, I don't care what color it is, left out in the sun will eventually burn. The only reason why we don't burn as quickly as you do is because for where God wanted us to be, He made our skin be able to take that African sun. So yes, we will eventually burn if we stay out there long enough. But we were intended to be in Africa, where there's a hot sun burning all day. So He made our skin darker, more able to take that sun, you idiot. Doesn't science tell them that anything, if they can put an egg on a sidewalk and it start to cook, we have skin too. I'm just going to stop right there because I did not intend to become upset. But I just say continue to talk to your children. Give them that talk. My son is damn near 30 years old. He's a bearded old man is what I call him, looking like Teddy Pendergrass with that beard. But I tell him all the time that I talk to him, you watch your back, you stay safe, and stay out of the sights of the police because they will kill you, hurt you, and then tell a story defining who you are as a person that has nothing to do with the young man that I raised. So thanks for clicking on the video. And again, my people, take care of yourself. Have that talk with your children. Stay protected out here when you're having relations with people. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. One last thing before I get out of here. I was also thinking about something else. You know that thing where they define us as, being lazy and shiftless and we don't want to work? I get a little chuckle every time, I see or hear some person of another race say that about us. Because I find it odd that for people that they don't believe want to work and that we're lazy, they actually sailed a few hundred years ago to another world over in Africa and came and got us for just that purpose, to be workers here in America. Isn't that just ironic? Doesn't it just kill you that we're considered lazy and we plowed the fields and rocked babies and nursed babies and cleaned homes and, did all kinds of stuff that, you normally wouldn't identify a lazy person as doing. I just find that quite a chuckle. Quite the little chuckle. We're lazy. Man, we have worked some of the hardest jobs here on this continent with no pay. I mean, just imagine working sun up to sundown and you're not getting paid. You're barely going to get fed and clothed with a roof over your head. And you better not complain because you might be whipped damn near to death, but you're lazy. That's what they say about you. Again, have a great day and thanks for watching my video. Bye-bye now.